Hello children, how are you all? Now, the other day I had started the lesson, the quince tree. I had completed only half of the lesson. Today I'll start from the rest of it. That is, I had just stopped on page number 32. Now I'll continue the lesson. Now, the lesson is about a tenant whose name was Betsy Mullen, and Vera, who supported Betsy Mullen because she was an old lady, and this cottage where this old lady was staying belonged to Vera's aunt. Somehow she didn't want this old lady to move from this cottage. So she tells her aunt, and the aunt is not ready because this lady was not in a position to pay the rent. So this aunt is fed up of her and she wants Betsy Mullen to move away from there. She is telling her to move to the other part of the village where she can get a small cottage at an affordable rate. Okay, now she is not, since she can't pay the rent over here, let her move to somewhere else. Somehow she wants to just make this lady go away from her cottage. Whose cottage? From Vera's aunt's cottage. That is, her aunt's name is Bemberley Kimball. But Vera doesn't want this lady to move from there. So she's telling her aunt that what you are thinking about that lady, that she doesn't have anything, is wrong. This lady has got such valuable thing in her house which nobody in this whole parish has. No houses in this whole parish has. So ഈ ഏരിയയിൽ ആരുടെ വീട്ടിലും ഇത്രയും വാല്യുബിൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ള സാധനം ഇല്ലെന്ന വീര ക്ലെയിം ചെയ്യുന്നത് ആൻറ്റിയോട്. ഓക്കെ, നൗ oh no, not that, said Vera, but something quite as important and just as mysterious, if anything rather more shocking. So if I tell you what it is, you will find it as shocking. Not the Dublin, Vera nodded, the whole jolly lot of them. In Betsy's cottage. Incredible. So nee endu parayunnathu? Betsy's cottage has got something valuable. It is incredible, unbelievable. Of course, Betsy hasn't an idea as to what they are, said Vera. She just knows that they are something valuable, that she must keep quiet about them. I found out quite by accident what they were and how they came to be there. You see, the people who had them were at their wits' end about where to stow them away for safekeeping, and someone who was driving through the village was struck by the snug loneliness of the cottage and thought it would be the right place. Mrs. Lamper arranged the matter with Betsy and smuggled the things in. So, you see, some valuables were bought from somewhere else. Now, they wanted to, you see, when valuables which doesn't belong to you, or people who take away such things, somehow, that is നമ്മുടെ അല്ലാത്ത ഒരു കാര്യം, നമ്മൾ വേറെ എടുത്തുനിന്ന് കട്ടെടുത്തുകൊണ്ട് വന്നേക്കുന്ന, സ്റ്റീൽ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് വന്നേക്കുന്ന, റോബ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് വന്നേക്കുന്ന, ആൻഡ് ദേ ആർ വാല്യുബിൾസ്, ഭയങ്കര വിലപിടിപ്പുള്ള സാധനങ്ങൾ. What should, if police is following, or you want to keep it somewhere where nobody comes to know about it, and that is, and when you see that police is following you, somehow you try to hide it away. Okay, that's stowing, STOW. എവിടെയെങ്കിലും കൊണ്ടുപോയി അത് മറയ്ക്കണം എന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ആരും കാണരുത്. Okay, so of course Betsy hasn't. So Vera is saying she has got these valuables, but she only knows that it is something valuable, but she doesn't know what it is and how valuable it is. How much valuable it is, she doesn't know, or anything about it. Betsy is telling her aunt. She just knows that there are something valuable. Who is that she over here? Betsy Mullen. Veera is telling her aunt. She just knows that there are something valuable and they must keep quiet about them. I found out quite by accident what they were and how they came to be there. You see, the people who had them were at their wits' end about where to stow them away for safekeeping, and someone who was driving through the village was struck by the snug lowliness of the cottage and thought it would be the right place. Mrs. Lamper arranged the matter with Betsy and smuggled the things in. So Mrs. Lamper is another character over here. She talks to Betsy and these things were kept over there because they were somehow finding out a place to stow, അതായത് ഇത് പാത്തു വെക്കാൻ. And as they were passing through the village, they saw this lonely cottage, and with the help of Mrs. Lamper, they stowed the things into Mrs. Betsy Mullen's cottage. Veera tells her. Mrs. Lamper said Mrs. Bumberly-Kimball, but she must have known something about their history. Anyone who reads the papers, even casually, would have been aware of the theft, and I don't think the things were hard to recognize. Mrs. Lamper has always had the reputation of being a very conscious woman. So when Mrs. Lamper's name was said, Bumberly-Kimball, that is Veera's aunt, just couldn't believe it. Even she is involved in this. Well, when you read the newspapers, you come to know that മോഷണമൊക്കെ നടന്നത്, it is put in the newspaper the next day. പിന്നെ തിരഞ്ഞെടുക്കുന്ന കാര്യം പിന്നാണ്. പക്ഷേ ഇത്രയും കാര്യങ്ങൾ കട്ടെടുത്ത് പോയെന്നുള്ളത് ന്യൂസ് പേപ്പറിൽ ന്യൂസായിട്ട് വരാറുണ്ട്. See, when something is stolen, a big lump sum amount is stolen from somewhere, either a bank or a jewelry shop or any place, even if it is a textile shop. If money or something is looted from there, then it comes in the newspapers next day. Now finding it out is secondary. That is the next step. But when such things are robbed, or a huge or lump sum amount is robbed, it but naturally comes in the news. So Mrs. Lamper is involved. That is her aunt, Veera's aunt, just couldn't believe, because Mrs. Lamper shouldn't have helped them to stow those things in Betsy Mullen's cottage. That was her that is concept of, that is what she was thinking. How can she get involved? Because in the whole area, Mrs. Lamper was considered as a conscious lady, that is a very honest lady, or a lady who lived with principles. Then why is she involved, or why is she got herself involved in such a case? Of course, she was protecting someone else, said Veera. So Mrs. Lamper was not directly involved, she was also protecting somebody else, said Veera. An extraordinary number of respectable people have involved themselves while trying to protect others. You would be really astonished if you knew some of the names of the individuals mixed up in it. And most of them don't even know who the original culprits were. And now I have got you entangled in the mess by letting you into the secret of the cottage. You most certainly have not entangled me, said Mrs. Bumberly-Kimball crossly. I have no intention of protecting anybody. The police must know about it at once. A theft is a thief, is a theft, whoever is involved. If respectable people choose to involve themselves in hiding stolen goods, well, they are not respectable anymore. I shall telephone immediately. So Veera tells, it is not only Mrs. Lamper. There are many respectable people here around who have got themselves involved in this particular case, in this particular valuable items hiding case. അതായത് എവിടുന്നോ ആരോ കട്ടെടുത്തുകൊണ്ട് വന്ന കാര്യം. അതിലെ യഥാർത്ഥ കുറ്റവാളി അല്ലെങ്കിൽ യഥാർത്ഥ തീഫിനെ ആർക്കും അറിയത്തില്ല. ബട്ട് എവ്രി വൺ ഈസ് പ്രൊട്ടക്റ്റിംഗ് ദ അതർ. സോ ഓൾ പീപ്പിൾ ഹൂ ആർ അറ്റ് പ്രസൻറ്റ് ഇൻവോൾവ്ഡ് ഇൻ ഇറ്റ് ആർ ഓൾ റെസ്പെക്റ്റബിൾ പീപ്പിൾ. സോ Veera is saying, I just got you entangled in the mess by letting you into the secret of the cottage. I just put you into the mess by letting you into the secret of the cottage. So this lady is saying, she is getting angry. You have not entangled me. I have no intention of protecting anybody. So this aunt is saying, I have got no intention in protecting anybody. The police must know about it at once. A theft is a theft according to her. കൊച്ചു കാര്യമാണെങ്കിലും വലിയ കാര്യമാണെങ്കിലും, അത് ഒരു സാധാരണക്കാരനാണെങ്കിലും സമൂഹത്തിലെ ഒരു പേരുകെട്ട ആളാണെങ്കിലും അത് മോഷണം തന്നെയാണ്. ഇഫ് റെസ്പെക്റ്റബിൾ പീപ്പിൾ ചൂസ് ടു ഇൻവോൾവ് ദംസെൽസ് in hiding stolen goods, well, they are not respectable anymore. I shall telephone immediately. Moreover, this cottage belonged to her. That is, the tenant was Betsy Mullen, but the real owner of the cottage was Veera's aunt. So she's saying, no, I will just ring up the police and inform them, because if respectable people are involved in it, then they are no more called to be respectable. So I am not going to show any type of concession. I will now ring the police and inform to them. Ho answered Veera reproachfully, it would be terrible if people got to know that Cuthbert is involved in something like this. You know it would. So Veera is saying very sadly, and she has just what I should say, she is feeling sorry. She is saying, wait aunt, it would be terrible if people got to know that Cuthbert is Cuthbert, B is silent, Cuthbert is involved in something like this. You know it would be. Now, who is this Cuthbert? Cuthbert involved? How can you say such things when you know how much we all think of him? Of course, I know you think highly of him, and that's is young engaged to marry Beatrice. I know that it will be a frightfully good match, and that he is your idol of what a son-in-law should be. So when she heard this name, who heard this name? When Veera is saying, wait aunt, don't phone, don't ring up the police, because many respectable people are involved in it, and amongst that one is your son-in-law. So when she heard the name of her son-in-law, who has already been engaged to her daughter, she was very, very sorry, or she was just toned down. She was surprised, she was astonished, and at the same time she was feeling very hurt. Why? Because she had a high esteem of her son-in-law. All the same, it was Cuthbert's idea to stow the things away in the cottage, and it was his motor car that bought them. So Veera is saying that it was your son-in-law's idea to stow the things in this cottage, and this was bought in his car. Okay, all these stolen valuables which is stored in Betsy Mullen's cottage belonged to whom? Nobody knows. Who is the real culprit? Nobody knows. But it was bought to that place by your son-in-law. She is telling her aunt, it was bought to that place, to this cottage. It was his idea, and it was bought in his car. Son-in-lawയുടെ കാറിലായി ഇതിവിടെ കൊണ്ടുവന്ന് എത്തിച്ചത്. He was only doing it to help his friend Pegginson. So Cuthbert is not directly involved in it. He was just helping his friend Pegginson. You know, I forgot how he got involved in it. ആരോ എന്തോ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു, but I forgot how Cuthbert got involved in it. That is, your son-in-law got involved in it. But he did it for his friend, whose name is Pegginson. I warned you that there were lots of quite respectable people mixed up in it, didn't I? ഞാൻ ആൻറ്റിനോട് നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞില്ലേ, many respectable people are involved in it. So I asked you, don't call the police. That's what I meant when I said it would be impossible for old Betsy to leave the cottage. The things take up a good bit of space, and she couldn't take them with her without attracting attention. So Betsy Mullen, a poor lady, everybody knows about it. But when such valuable things were kept, and which occupied lots of space, was kept in her house, but naturally, if she is going to leave the house, she has to take all her belongings, and along with this will be moved away from there, and then everybody will become suspicious. What is she taking such heavy things from here? Because everybody knew what she had in her cottage. And that is why Veera is telling, I warned you not to call the police, because many respectable people are involved in it without knowing the real culprit. So, and one is your son-in-law, she points out. Of course, if she were to fall ill and die, it would be equally unfortunate. Her mother lived to be over 90, she tells me. So with due care and absence of worry, she ought to last for another dozen years at least. By that time, perhaps some other arrangements will have been made for disposing of the wretched things. So she's telling her aunt, see, without giving her any problems, without giving her any stress, let her live in that house, because she had told me, Veera is telling, she had told whom? Veera, that her mother lived up to the age of 90. So if we don't give her any stress, let her live over there. Otherwise, all the respectable people involved in this case will be jailed, and one is your son-in-law. So let her live in that house without giving her trouble. Her mother lived up to the age of 90. So if we are not going to give her stress, she can live for a few more years, for nearly another 10 to 12 years. And by the time what is stowed over there can easily be removed, we can get rid of it. That is what Veera is telling her aunt. Okay? I shall speak to Cuthbert about it after the wedding, said Mrs. Bemberley Kimball. Now, the lady who was very cross, very angry, who had raised her voice against doing injustice or against theft, doing theft, മോഷണം എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരു ജസ്റ്റായിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു കാര്യമല്ല. സോ വളരെ ദേഷ്യത്തോടെയും ആവേശത്തോടെയും ഇപ്പം തന്നെ പോലീസിനെ വിളിപ്പിക്കുന്ന പറഞ്ഞ ആ ലേഡി, all of a sudden she had to come down because her son-in-law was also involved in it, and her daughter's marriage was going to take place very soon. So she's telling Veera, okay, let it be like that. I will talk about it after the marriage to her son-in-law. Who is her son-in-law? Mr. Cuthbert, who at present is involved in this case, because he was the one who gave the idea, and he was the one who bought these things in his car. This was told to Mrs. Beverly Kimball by whom? By Veera. So she was very much, what I should say, now she very much annoyed when she heard this. ഭയങ്കരമായിട്ട് ദേഷ്യവും സങ്കടമൊക്കെ വരും. but there was no alternative, and so she thought of talking about it only after her daughter's marriage. She wanted to talk about it now, but then she was a little bit afraid, and that is why she tells Veera, okay, I'll talk about it after the marriage. Later, while telling the story to her best friend, Veera said, the wedding isn't till next year, and meanwhile, old Betsy is living rent-free with soup twice a week and my aunt's doctor to see her whenever she has her finger ache. So, Veera is telling her best friend Veera is telling, see, I made, actually the story was cooked up by Veera because she didn't want old Betsy to live that house. She was feeling sorry for this lady because she was poor. She couldn't pay the rent, and even if she was going away from here, even if she moves to a small cottage, she didn't have money to pay the rent. So she wanted her aunt to make her stay over there, and that is why she cooked up the story. Now she is telling her friend, at least for nearly 1 year, nothing will happen. But my aunt has come down to such an extent that every week she sends her doctor to check Mrs. Betsy Mullen. At the same time, she serves her with soup twice a week. But how on earth did you get to know about it? Asked her friend in admiration. So her friend is saying, but how could you cook up such a thing? She was really anxious to know about it. It was a mystery, said Veera. Of course, it was a mystery that baffled everybody. What beats me is how you found out. Oh, about the jewels, I invented that part, explained Veera. I mean, the mystery was where old Betsy's areas of rent were to come from, and she would have hated living that jolly Gwen Street. So, Veera is saying, this mystery that baffled everybody, that is, the case that valuables were stolen, it baffled everybody. But for me, I didn't want this lady to shift from here, and that is why she cooked up the story. So she's saying that I cooked up the story because she had arrears എന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ arrears എന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ റെൻറ്റ് കൊടുക്കുന്നതിൽ ഒത്തിരി എമൗണ്ട് പെൻഡിങ് ആയിരുന്നു. arrears പ്രോംപ്റ്റായിട്ട് എല്ലാ മാസവും കൊടുത്തിട്ടില്ല. So she had a rent arrears for nearly 4 months, and now her aunt was adamant to shift her from that. Veera was feeling sorry for this lady, and that is why she cooked up the story and made her aunt believe that there was something valuable over there, and her son-in-law was also involved in it along with many other respectable people. Okay? Now, blindfoldedly, this aunt just took into her head what Veera said. Okay? She didn't go to check it out. She just believed what Veera said, and Veera did this to save this lady, Betsy Mullen, from leaving the house, and at the same time she was spared from her rent. That is, her aunt became a soft-cornered lady for the time being because her son-in-law was also involved in it. So for the time being, she became soft and allowed this lady to stay in that house without paying the rent. At the same time, she served her with soup, and also the doctor was sent to give medical checkup once in a blue moon. Okay, that is, every month her medical checkup was done free. Okay, so through Veera's story, or what Veera said, her aunt just accepted it, and fear of earning a bad name for her son-in-law, or the future of her daughter's marriage. She just accepted what Meera said and didn't go to find it out. And that is why Betsy Mullen could stay in that house. Veera was happy now that she had done a favor to that lady. Okay? So, thank you, my dear children. I have completed this lesson. Do write the meanings which is given below each page of the text, and then I'll be sending you the notes, the question answers. Read the lesson at least 3 to 4 times, because this lesson is by Hector Hugh Munro, who had his pen name as Saki. Okay? Now, it is actually a mischievous story, oru tamashamulla oru story aanu. I hope you have enjoyed it. Have a blissful day. Thank you.